So hello and welcome to Flow Waterjet. Today we'll be presenting Flow the company and our Waterjet technology that's widely used in the stone and tile industry. To start with, we're just going to show a short overview of Flow as a company. Flow International Corporation are the world's leading developer and manufacturer of ultra-high pressure systems, and we have over 14,000 installations worldwide. Our Flow Technology Centre in Europe is based near Lille in northern France, and our headquarters is near Frankfurt. Flow is a US company, and we manufacture around the world. Flow is Waterjet innovation and history, and it was founded in 1974, and Flow actually invented abrasive waterjet in 1979. Throughout the years, we've had highlights of all the technology that we've invented and brought to the market, all of which has benefited our customers. One of the reasons that companies do choose to buy Flow Waterjet is that we make everything with the system. It's the Waterjet machine tool, the control software, the ultra-high pressure pumps, of course, and the cutting edge technology, similar to you see on the screen with the Pivot Plus used in the stone industry. We put a huge amount of money back into R&D every year, and that drives the technology, not just to keep Flow ahead, but also to benefit our customers. And for our success, we've built on our customer service, our technology leadership, of course, and we've driven product development. We operate globally, so you will always find Flow representation and Flow support wherever you are in the world. Of course, we're here today to talk about very much the stone industry, and Flow's been involved in this side of the market for a long time. Anything from cruise ship interiors, aircraft, composite panels, countertops, and latterly engineered stone, where our technology has very, very real benefits. We have a standard range of machines, and within that range, we have options that we tailor to the customer's needs. We're also one of the very few people in the industry that would make the direct drive pump technology and the intensifier technology, and we choose the best option for the customers. Direct drive and intensifier basically is still taking 4-bar inlet water pressure and building it up to 4,000 or 6,000 bar, but they do it in different ways. The intensifier we can use for 6,500 bar for the fastest cutting in the industry. But generally in the stone industry, glass industry, composites industry, the pump of choice is the direct drive Hyplex prime pump. It's 92% energy efficient, which means you need less electrical energy to get the same result. A big part of what we do is support. So we mentioned the Flow Technology Centre, and of course, with our single point support, we have field service engineers, we have regional technology centres. And for the customer service side, as well as the engineers, we have customer service people who will help with spare parts. We have an internet web shop. And with our Flow Care service packages, we have planned maintenance and fixed cost of operation, so customers can leave everything to us. We also have support for legacy systems, which is very important as we have systems over 25 years old working out in the field. So that just brings to the end the overview of the company. We're now going to have a look at the Mach 100 system. So I'm going to run a short video here and just talk around the features that we have. So this is the Mach 100, which is a precision 3-axis waterjet system. We have hundreds of these installed worldwide. Flow are the OEM, so we make the entire system, including the pump software, cutting head technology. The machine shown here in the Technology Centre in Lille has a very robust, fabricated stress relief frame for accuracy and performance, and a separate catcher tank for stability. The very rigid open gantry construction allows three-sided access, which is very convenient for the operators. And we have an auto lube system, which gets lubrication to the slides and to the ball screw, which are underneath the covers that you see here. All of the Flow systems, the Mach 100, 200 and 500, all use the same Yaskawa AC digital drives. And for the motion system, we're using Omron PMAC motion control, which is driven from the Flowmaster software. There's no G-coding required, no post-processor, so you don't need any experience. You'll just see there the light guard post for safety. That's a CE requirement. And we also have an analog high pressure gauge situated at the back of the machine so the operators can see where the pump is operating. Moving on to the abrasive bulk hopper, this is where we store the abrasive. It's garnet abrasive, and it's a dual stage system, so we can actually fill the system while we continue working. We then just use compressed air to move the abrasive from the bulk hopper through the machine and up to the mini hopper, which we'll be seeing in a little while. Flow is the most widely installed ultra-high pressure technology in the world, and the Hyplex Prime pump is rated at 4,150 bar and is 92% efficient. Flow's direct drive technology is based on years of experience and requires less power than other pumps and generates exceptional performance. 3 ceramic pistons convert 4 bar inlet water to 3,800 bar continuous operating pressure, and Flow's patented pressure control valve eliminates the need for a second dummy cutting head to balance the pressure or changes in orifice size that other systems may need. It's fully integrated into the Flowmaster control and specifically designed to work with the Mach 100 system with control of low pressure, high pressure, and diagnostic information. As we mentioned, we have a separate catcher tank, and this ensures accuracy and protects the motion system from temperature changes and material loading. The stainless steel slats and supports help protect the cut materials, the slabs, so you don't get any impact from mild steel. And there's an optional abrasive extraction system. The PC Flowmaster control is used on all of our machines, and it's using the Smart Stream mathematical models, so no waterjet experience is required. Just click on the material thickness and Flowmaster does the rest. The software opens standard geometry and allows all the cutting parameters to be placed automatically. The Pacer 4 cutting head is the most advanced in the industry with only 2 consumable items. The mini hopper provides exact abrasive dosing down into the cutting head, and the ultra pierce technology is always used for consistent piercing of engineered stone without breakage or damage. This is a Flow patented technology and is used extensively in the stone, glass and composites industries. The Mach 100 is a complete turnkey system for 3-axis waterjet cutting, and with full technical support from the manufacturer, plus the Flow Care programs for operation. This gives a planned maintenance schedule, delivered consumables, and of course we have the guaranteed cost of operation. We're just going to move on now to an exciting feature that's been introduced, which is the Flow texturing tool. The Mach 100 system can simply and quickly be changed from a cutting machine to a texturing machine. The air-driven rotary head with 4 nozzles uses pure water, so there's no abrasive. And the texturing tool utilizes the standard cutting head mounting bracket and the high pressure fittings. We're also using the standard air fittings that we're using for the ultra pierce and for the cutting head. So changing over is about a 10-minute job. So positioning the slab onto the table, it can be positioned anywhere on the bed. We have up to 10 programmable home positions, and this makes it very convenient if we just want to do a small job with a large slab already on. Positioning the template or the stencil over the top of the slab can be referenced to an edge or to a feature, and customers actually use the abrasive water jet to cut the templates. So actually setting up 2 edges to align with the slab is easily done. Simple clamping holds the template and slab in place. And once it's clamped, we can save and check the home position for reference. As there is very little force involved in the texturing process, the clamping only needs to be very light and there's no damage to the material. Of course, the slats and the clamps are made from stainless steel. With the slab prepared, the operator can move to the software for creating the movement pattern or sweeping program. So on the Flowmaster screen, this can be carried out at the machine or it can be carried out offline in a production office. The operator will create the slab shape, and in this case a rectangle, purely for representation and reference when they're creating their sweeping. It won't be cut. For the sweeping path used in texturing, a single line is drawn to start and to use as a reference. So we can see that we're overlapping the dotted rectangle, which is our slab. We then select that line, and the operator has an array function where we can enter a number of rows, columns, and the distance between the lines to create the array of lines. In this case, the operator is going to enter 20 for the number of lines, press OK, but we can see that it doesn't actually cover the rectangle. So the operator will just go back and just change that to 60 lines. So they've speeded this up on the video just for convenience. So we can now see the number of lines. We can see that it's covered the rectangle. And the last job is just to join up the lines so that it's a continuous sweeping path. We can then export that path as a cut program, and then we'll be opening this into Flow Cut to start the texturing process. Just a couple of clicks to go through. Do we want to complete the process? And then we'll move on. So now we've opened in Flow Cut. We've changed the color from blue to yellow, and this indicates that we're going to be going at 100% speed. In the software models, we're going to select water only. There's no abrasive used in this. And in this example, we're using 4,000 millimeters per minute. As an example, for black absolute, you might be using 750 to 1,000 millimeters per minute, and you can go up to 5,000. Once these parameters have just been put into the system, we're now ready to start the process of texturing. So the operator will now switch on the pump in low pressure, select the water and the vacuum, and then the machine will go to home position. So now we can see that the head is moving in the sweeping program up and down over the template. As you can see, there's no damage to the template, but it will be removing the surface of the stone. In this example, we've removed the splash guard and the protection so that people can see the rotary head. Of course, in operation, there's an enclosure that goes around the rotary head. After we've passed through a few times, we'll then be going on just to show some examples of the result of what this looks like after we've gone over the template. So in aluminium and in stone, we get very, very good results and very consistent removal. The next movie was actually recorded at Verona in 2019, where on the booth we had some very complex geometry. And we were looking to show the visitors what we could do, even with very complex shapes on different materials using the flow texturing tool. As we can see, the detail and the quality is exceptional. So there we have with the Mach 100 as a cutting system for stone and as a texturing tool for stone. So what we'll do now is we will move on to the Mach 200. So the Mach 100, of course, was the 3-axis waterjet. And hopefully everybody can see my new movie that's come up. So as with the Mach 100, there are some very common features in terms of design and technology. So we're going to walk through this. You can see that the frame is bigger and stronger, and that's so that we can take the 5-axis wrist. We wouldn't put the 5-axis wrist on a standard 2D machine. We have protection bellows. We have the bulk hopper. But in this case, we have a different cutting head. So we have the 5-axis wrist, which allows us to have 60 degrees of motion to be able to do 45-degree miters. We also here have the height setter with smart mapping. Again, the pump is standard throughout the flow range. And on this machine, we have the splash guards as standard for operator protection if we're mitering. Of course, now that we're using 3D shapes, we need a software to suit that. So Flow Expert is a 3D solid model, which allows us to open either client files in other formats. So it could be Inventor, it could be Rhino. And of course, you can draw items from scratch. Very often people will take a digitized templated image from a client that's in 2D, and then we extrude that into 3D to give us our shape. So we've taken a scaled down countertop with a bowl cutout, a sink hole, tap hole, and with miters on 3 sides for downstands. We simply indicate the items that we wish to process. The software looks at the surfaces, puts the path on, and automatically does all of the 5-axis programming that's required to produce a good quality part. We export the part, as we did with the Mach 100, into the ORD file, which is the ordered file, and we open that in Flow Cut at the machine. So the Flow Expert software is offline, and now we're back at the machine. Flow Cut, as we saw on the Mach 100, and we'll be opening up the 3D file and getting ready for process. One of the interesting features on the Mach 200 is also the height setter with the smart map function. This is very important, especially to maintain accuracy for miters. The operator here is just clicking on a material list. They're selecting black Decton. It's 20 millimeters thick. So the software will automatically have all the speeds, feeds, piercing data ready for this material. The operator does not need to know this information. So they're just going through the standard models to click and check. But before we cut, we're going to carry out the smart mapping, which means we can go around the slab and just check. So on the software, there's an easy setup, and it allows us to go around. And this example now in the video will show how the system goes around and checks the height. If the slab was perfectly flat, there'd be no issues whatsoever, but obviously you can get deviations on slabs. So what this will do is it will give an extra Z movement so that the machine is always in the right position when it's going around the slab. So now we're just going to speed up a little bit just to show you how this happens. And you can go on the actual path of the job, or you can go on a grid section to give an overview. So that information is now logged into the controller. The operator doesn't have to do anything with that. And now we would be ready to start the process of cutting our countertop. The first thing we're going to do is utilize our Ultra Pierce technology. As we've said before, this is patented to Flow. It was developed many years ago and it works extremely well on engineered stone and on brittle natural stones. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the start of every lead-in position, and we're actually going to use the Waterjet to create a very small, accurate hole through that start. The technology allows the abrasive to be put into the chamber in a controlled manner so that we're always grinding and we're not damaging the material. So we can see there that there's the tap hole start, there'll be the bowl start, and then there'll be the downstands and the complete countertop. So it will go through and do a pierce point at every lead in. So we'll just move through this. And now we're starting to cut the first feature. So the machine will automatically have turned off the Ultra Pierce. The pump will be in the correct pressure, and the machine moves to the correct position through the start hole. And we can see there that we've got the tap hole with no damage. And now we're starting to cut the bowl. So on the bowl cutout, again, because we have taper and jet lag compensation as standard with this machine, we're able to produce a very accurate, very straight part. We don't have to worry about taper or underside damage. So there's very little finishing or polishing to do. As we go around the part, we start to see that all of a sudden we have angles on the cutting. So the machine is automatically changing the angle and changing the speed as it goes through different thicknesses. Obviously, if we're cutting on the angle, it's not 20 millimeters anymore, but the controller automatically takes care of that. Within the controller, we have a red line that shows where the cutting is taking place. So the operator has a very good feeling for where they are on the job. Again, there's no cutting forces involved, so very light clamping on small slabs, and on larger slabs, very little need for clamping at all. So now we'll take the finished item out, put it on the desk so that we can look at the quality and look at the edges. In our Flow Technology Center, we have 2 full-time applications engineers who cut customer parts, carry out training, and of course, customer demonstrations. So there we can see the edge quality, and that can be altered as well very easily within the FlowMaster software. We can see the straightness of the lines of the 2 edges that have come together. So the fabrication process should follow after this. So just to review, this session has covered the important aspects of 3-axis and 5-axis waterjet cutting and showed where the unique flow technology helps customers who are processing engineered and natural stone. Thank you very much for watching. We hope that you found the presentation interesting, and please do contact us via our website, flowwaterjet.com, or any of our social media platforms. We'd love to discuss your requirements and therefore more information as required. Thank you and good afternoon.